Foundry.
Before we talk about Big Bang, let's first watch Sadhguru's video.
Out of the 84 creations that have happened, 83 have happened, this one is happening. Out of these, as creation is happening, ongoing, the dissolution also is ongoing. So the dissolution process started for some creation and they started dissolving and dissolving and dissolving. Out of this, only 20 are still in the process of dissolving, in different levels of dissolving. The others are completely obliterated. Except you can look at them in your awareness, looking at this creation, because in some way it contains the residue or the experience of all that. Just as you carry your experience of life into everything that you do, the process of creation also has been carrying the experience of every creation into the next one and the next one, though they're completely different. Though they may be completely different. Calling as karma. So this is the individual karma, what we're talking about. But there is a universal karma. There is a karma of the creation itself. Because creation itself is a karma, isn't it? The act of creation, is it not an act? Act means karma, it is a karma. The residue of that karma is always moving into the next phase of creation and the next level of creation. Like this, totally 84 creations have happened, or 83 have happened, 84th is on. In that, the older ones have managed to completely dissolve. They only exist in terms of experiential imprint in the next one, but they don't have a living status. But the 20 behind this are still having different levels of living status. Some are become very, very wispy, some are little stronger, some are little stronger, some are almost real, like this. They're almost like this, but they're in the process of dissolution. Their active process of creation is not happening, that's all dissolution means. See, right now, what death means for you is, when you're a child, the number of new cells that you're producing, if let's say in a year you're producing 100 billion cells, when you become 35, it is dropped a little bit. When you become 45, it's dropped a little bit. When you become 55, it's dropped further. When you become 75, it's dropped further. A time comes when what you're producing and what is dying is more than what you're able to replace. So this is how old age is happening. Exactly the same process is happening with the creation. The dissolution is always happening. Even here, dissolution is always happening, but new creation is happening, so it's vibrantly on. That new creation dwindled and stopped. So over a phase of time, over a period of time, this just went down. Only dissolution started happening, and then after some time, only memory imprints are left. No living imprint is there. So in this sense, only 21 are still having some kind of an existence. The other remaining, 63, is it? 63, they're completely gone. You cannot see them anywhere, it doesn't matter how you see, but you can see them as memory imprints within your own system, because that imprint and that experience is still here.
Inside of our journey, it is not meant for us to remember everything. The creation itself does not remember everything. It just has imprints left behind from things that have happened. Every one of these bubbles is a multiverse that is happening. We ourselves are a universe, and then the things around us they vibrate differently than we vibrate, which constructs a multiverse around us. And there are many other multiverses within the omniverse, right? We exist inside of one of these bubbles, right? We walk around inside of our personal multiverse amongst the omniverse. We share the area with other people, and we're all in that same level of vibration, you could say. Now, if you know that the creation is constantly creating new things while also dissolving old things, the question I have for most people would be, can there ever truly be an end? Why did it begin in the first place?
When we say Shiva, generally he is always referred to as Swayambhu because there is no particular moment of creation, there is no particular source of creation. He is by himself. That's why the word Shiva means that which is not. That which is not does not happen at a particular time, does not happen through something, it is there. So Shiva was…
And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father which is in secret, and the Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Did he say turn on a light in your closet? Back in his time, they didn't have lights in their closet. You just get in your closet and you'd pray in the dark. And, as I said many times before, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Now, there's also the fact that the people who sat in darkness saw a great light, and to them which sat in the region of the shadow of death, light is sprung up. What is the light of man? The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad brings this question up. When the sun sets, Yagnavalkya, and the moon sets, and the fire goes out, and no one speaks, what is the light of man? The self is the light of man, your majesty, for by that we sit, we work, and we go out, and we come back. This is from the Kina Upanishad. The teacher, if you think I know the self, you know not. All you can see is external form. Continue therefore your meditation. The student, I do not think I know the self, nor can I say I know him not. The teacher, there is only one way to know the self, and that is to realize him yourself. The ignorant think the self can be known by intellect, by the illumined. No, he is beyond the duality of the knower and the known. The self is realized in a higher state of consciousness, when you have broken through the wrong identification that you are the body, subject to birth and death, and to be the self is to go beyond death. Realize the self, the shining goal of life. If you do not, there is only darkness. See the self in all, and go beyond death. Mystics talk about the waters above and the waters below. Well, what would separate them? Density of the waters, right? A wave has a crest, and it also has a trough. But there's a level point between those 2 points, right? If you're constantly riding the sea, where do you find the part of you that's level? We go into our closet and shut the door and meditate inside darkness, so we can sit here and be like, what is it that I truly have? All I have is my breath. What is it that I do with my breath? And even then, you get to a point where you're just sitting there and you stop breathing. The goal is to feel and experience the endlessness of what you are. When we are children, we just sit inside of our cradle. We know nothing. We don't own anything. We are just there. We exist and we're brought into this world of lights. When we were in the womb, we were into a place like this that was warm and stuff. We just sat there in the darkness, feeling all the sensations, hearing all the sounds. All of us, all of our lives, we have this kind of pre-existence, and then we have the things that are said after us, so post-existence phase, right? The Creator has many names. Atum is the god of pre-existence and post-existence inside the Egyptian, right? Atum sounds like an atom. Atoms are made of extremely tiny particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. Well, protons is positive, electrons is negative, neutron is neutral. That's where the Creator lies. A moon, as we say amen, right? A moon means the hidden one. In order to get karma, in order to make things, you have to make positive and negative. Father and mother, that type of thing, right? And those two come together to have a child. That child is an Adam or Adam. Inside of this way, mankind is made of both positive and negative to make a neutral entity, where the Creator also starts off as neutral. But he knows how all this stuff is built. We live within it to come to an understanding of what we are, principally as being a self, a thing within existence. Bring yourself to the end of the creation and sit in darkness. There is nothing to do, but you still will exist. The Creator says, I am that I am. Just exist. And so the creation will continue to go on. It's the feeling of I am, though sometimes I wish I would not be. I still am, and I must deal with it. Creation exists to give immortals something to do. Mortals will come and they will go, but those who become immortal will still have to have something to do, something to learn, their own personal things that they're working on. Understand the principle of what it is to be a self. This is how you begin to unlock your avatar state.